Here's a cool old pocket watch that doesn't look special, particularly on first look, but it's actually quite complicated. It's called a ClockWatch. It will strike the elapsed hours and quarter hours in passing on its own, and it can also be operated as a repeater, a quarter repeater, by pressing the button on the pendant. And here I'll demonstrate the repeater function. It should chime out 11 hours and 2 elapsed quarter hours, since it hasn't quite gotten to 11:45 as yet. And then it should, on its own, sound out 11 hours and 3/4 hours at the point when it just passes, the minute hand just passes the 9. So we'll wait for that. So that's a pretty cool feature. It has a lot of involved work under the dial, sort of mechanical stuff going on that I don't know much about. I sort of know how to operate one of these and can explain, what it's called and everything, but it just doesn't look like anything fancy initially. But it has 2 barrels that can be wound. One is for timekeeping, and one is for the striking or repeating train. It has a cylinder escapement, which isn't super common, I don't think, on a watch of this type. So we have these little cool flip-up levers here, which are on the winding arbors, and were, I suppose, or possibly added later. I don't know. They're probably quite old in and of themselves. This one here, you turn to wind up the striking train. It's pretty well wound up, but we'll give it a turn. And then you can flip that back down. This one's for the timekeeping, and it's already wound up. This one has a few teeth missing on the ratchet wheel there, which means you kind of have to wind it a little bit past them so that it will catch. But that doesn't really, if you know to do that, it's no big deal, really. And this has little steel gongs, wire gongs that go around the movement. There's 2 of them. And then there are hammers over here that hit those gongs. This is the dust cover. It's made by Bordier à Geneve, a Swiss maker. And I'm assuming that there were originally just, key wind arbors here instead of these levers, but I don't know for sure. Also, one thing to be aware of with these types of watches is it's probably best to set the hands clockwise to prevent damage to the repeating mechanism. In addition, with this one, it has a sort of a silent and loud lever here, a little lever. When I set the hands, I put it on silent, this little tiny little lever. And that's to just, theoretically, I guess, to keep the watch from striking or repeating while you're setting the hands. So, and then it does take a little key here, if I can see what the heck I'm doing. There we go. So, And then if I do want it to, if I want to hear it striking the hours and quarter hours in passing, then I will flip the lever back to the loud side. There's two little letters there that indicate loud and silent, I guess. But now, since we're going to have it strike in passing, I'll leave it on loud. And so here we go again. We'll try the repeater function first. There's the button right there. So we just press that. You can kind of hear it clicking in there. It only struck 2 quarter hours because it has not gone past 9 yet. It has not gone past 12:45, but it will soon. And at that point, it will ring out on its own. So this is a fairly large pocket watch as well. I think it's close to 60 millimeters in diameter. It has some damage to the dial, edge chips and some hairlines, but it's, for its age, it's actually in pretty darn good shape and mechanically pretty sound. Doesn't really have any dents to speak of, just some smoothing to the design of the case. So there you have it, striking on its own. I do have some pictures under the dial, and they show how complicated it really is, this watch. But anyway, it's pretty cool, and it's kind of a stealth watch because you'd never think that it was capable of these particular functions. Thank you for watching.